Ready? Good. All right, if you'd find your seats, we'll go ahead and start. All right, I want to begin by thanking you for coming to our congregational meeting. And as has been stated on the social medias and in the newsletters and even last week, the purpose of this congregational meeting is to vote on allowing Redeemer Church Knoxville to take out a construction loan of up to $1.5 million in order to complete the estimated $3.2 million renovation of our existing building. So that's the purpose of our meeting. That's the business that we can address, and that's the only business we can address in this meeting. And so to begin, I'd like to ask Josh Flory to open in prayer.
Please pray with me. Gracious God, thank you for the chance to gather in your name here at 17th and Highland. We thank you for your great gifts to Redeemer, for the privilege of worshiping together and calling upon your name. We thank you that you've led us all these years. We ask that you continue to lead us. Thank you for the privilege now of considering this motion and this project, and pray that you'd go before us. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, so first things first, we need to elect a clerk for our meeting, and so I'd welcome a nomination of ruling elder and clerk of session Josh Flory. Anybody like to make the nomination? All right, Glenn. All right, Julia, you're a second. All right, make sure John. So, anybody else? Would anybody else like to run? To Jill. Okay, so it's between Josh. Is there a second for Jill? Okay, Paul Michael. Okay, this is going to a vote. All right, so stand if you want Jill. Okay, Jill's not. Okay. All right. So anyone other than anyone else want to reject the nomination other than Jill? All right. All in favor of Josh? Aye. Any opposed? That's encouraging, Josh. Unanimous. You get to write down notes. Well, congratulations. All right. The second thing we need to do is to determine a quorum. And so in order to vote, you must be a member in good standing, and we at least need 48 members in attendance. And so if you're a member in good standing, would you raise your hand? Let's see, one. I'm going to go ahead and determine that we have a quorum. All right. Next, before we take any questions and vote, a couple notes. Durr is handing out some floor plans and mood boards for you to look at. He's also passing out, and so is Josh. They're also passing out and Kat, sorry, and they also have a ballot that's going out as well. So as they're passing those things out, I just want to make a few comments. And the first is that, as most of you know, we've been working on this Cultivate the Corner project, probably to your mind 3.5 years, but it's really been a 5-year project that we've been working on it. And so we really are excited about where we are. About 2 years ago, many of you remember that we presented plans for a new building that would be on the northwest corner of our lot. And we were super excited about that project. And we had been told that it was going to cost us between $2 and $2.5 million. But when we went to sign the contracts, many of you remember that number had doubled to $4 million. And so we weren't prepared to spend $4 million on that project, nor did we believe that project was worth $4 million. And so even though you had given us permission to move ahead with a loan in the past for the project, we took up a different project. And so we turned our attention back to renovating the existing building. And so that's what we're putting before you. Why didn't we build anything? Well, because we wanted to honor what we thought you were giving to and what we had communicated. And so why are we asking you to vote now? Because we want to honor you, to show you what our project is. And that's the project that the whole church is doing. So where are we in this endeavor? Well, the renovation plans have been submitted to the city. And everything has been approved by the city with the exception of one comment regarding our HVA system. And we're pretty confident that we have resolved that mechanical issue. And so we hope to receive final permitting from the city within the next few weeks. And so what we've done is we've handed out a basic little concept, kind of mood boards and floor plans so you can see them. So on one side, as y'all are all looking at them, you'll notice that I'm looking at the chapel wing side of it. I think that's one page, chapel wing and bathroom suite. So the chapel wing is what we call everything behind the black wall. So everything behind the black wall, that's what you're looking at there. And our hope is that we're going to create a more beautiful, more functional, a bigger gathering space for hanging out, for Bible studies, for parties, a place that you might want to come during the week to hang out, a place where after the services you might want to hang out. And then there's a bathroom suite that is going to be attached to that. And so there'll be a bunch of bathrooms up here on this floor that don't have windows into the parking lot, so that at night you can watch people do what it is they're doing in there. And then if you turn the page over, you'll notice that there's a children's wing. And in the children's wing, where is that, you're asking? It's directly below us. It's in the lower hall. So where all of our offices are going to move out of that space, and we'll go into the chapel wing upstairs. And downstairs, we're hoping to produce this children's wing. And our hope is that this will provide a warm, safe space for your children to come and learn about Jesus. And so if you have children, when you come to the church, you'll drop them off in the lower hall, and then you can come up the stairs into the back so that you don't have to come up to the front while the service is beginning, but you'll be able to drop them off in the back and then come up those back stairs. The other thing that'll be really exciting about the children's wing is right now we have 4 rooms. This should allow us to have about 8 rooms for our nurseries and children's worship. And hopefully in the long run, we could consider maybe like a mother's morning out, down there during the week, if possible. Below that children's wing, you'll see the office suite, which everybody's really interested in. But that's where the staff will be working throughout the week. But upstairs, we'll also have 3 classrooms or offices and a conference room as well. And so as we grow, if we need more space for Bible studies and things, they can go upstairs. It also provides us opportunities to give space to RUF or to Collegiate Abbey or some other kind of campus ministry if we want to do that. It also opens up all the rooms that are behind. These stairs, it also opens up those rooms that we could potentially use for like a mental health care facility up behind us. They would have their own entrance and those sorts of things. And so it's by doing the renovation, it's actually providing a little bit more space and more square footage for us than the new building would have done. We're also looking into the possibility of adding a playground. So we're talking about zoning codes and stuff, but we're hoping to put a playground on the front. So that would be on the northwest corner of our campus. We know that your children already have the playground of the trees and the telephone boxes and dodging traffic and stuff like that. And so we'd love to try to help our children be a little bit safer and provide a space for them to run around intentionally. And then also, we're not going to leave the black wall as the black wall. We're going to brick that over, and then we're going to tie the buildings together aesthetically, replacing the windows and those sorts of things. The project is probably a project that will take anywhere between a year and a year and a half, and so it's probably safe to assume it's a year and a half project. And the hope is that we would be able to begin the project by the end of the year. And so we're really excited about kind of the possibilities. We've already had the building tested for asbestos and other carcinogens, and it's limited. And so we have limited abatement, which is a pretty huge savings, actually, because we had already in the budget of the $3.2 million renovation project, there was an abatement number in there. So we're already saving money, and then we'll spend it somewhere else, I'm sure. But anyway, we hope to be starting by the end of this year. All right, I'm going to turn these around just so you can see them. And so these are just renderings that came in. And so this, if you can't see it, you can come up later, but this is sort of to give you a vision of what the children's like gathering space would be. And so you can walk in and we have a check-in and nobody goes beyond the doors, and so there's safety, children are checked in here. And that's kind of what you enter into in that little lower space. This kid seems to be a Barcelona fan. He's wearing his Adidas and he's mocking the other families downstairs, it seems. But so that's sort of like a little bit of a mood board to sort of give you a vision of what it might look like down there. And then here's a little vision of potentially what the chapel looks like. And so you see Rob on his phone and Stephen really excited that this lady's come in. Like, what's going on? He's on the edge of his seat. But anyway, it's kind of, hopefully you see it as a warm space and there's like little sitting areas. And we can set up tables which are shown. Well, the tables aren't in here. Are tables in that one? No. But anyway, so you can see it's sort of a sitting space. And then this is sort of showing you that there's this little coffee bar that'll be in there onto the side. And so there'll be a kitchenette up there so that we can do a warming kitchen and have parties and things of that nature. So these are sort of little visions. I have other mood boards up here that I'll set out later, and you can come out and look at them just to kind of get a vibe of what our designers are talking about or thinking about. Before we talk about money or move on to a vote, do you have any questions about the project itself?
The office up above behind the black wall, what will be the daily business access to it? Where do you go with it?
Yeah, so that's great. So right now in the plans, there are going to be two doors. So you have the two doors here in the tower that most of you come in. There'll be two doors on the. Let's see, is that your left? The wall's on your left. If I'm going this way, that's my left. Right. So that to the south, there'd be some on the south as you go out the door. And those, you'll go in and there'll be a big kind of vestibule and stairs will go up those stairs. So there'll be a little buzzer that you can buzz in and that we have access to kind of buzz you up so that the door, to open the doors for you.
Where is the office suite? Is it like behind you?
No, the office suite is on the second story. So where we have our Bible study on Thursday mornings? There's a floor above that. There's a floor above the chapel. So the office suite is above that. Right now we use it with art for artists and some of our children's worship go up there. And so the office suite will go up there. So that'll get made and then we'll move the offices from downstairs upstairs and then the children's stuff will move into the downstairs. So everything's going to be compressed into this one building. For about a year to a year and a half. And so we're going to be tight for a while. And so some of the flow will change. We'll probably have to stay at 2 services, not only because of our attendance, but also just for nurseries, because our nurseries will be compressed. We need to create more space.
What will happen to the nurseries that are behind you?
They'll stay for right now. And then in the future, are you talking about in the future? Or are you thinking, yeah. So in the future, that'll be... like right now, downstairs in the kitchen, we have a bunch of the sacrament stuff. Those things will move up, so it'll sort of be like a sacristy. There'll be like a little bit of storage will go in there because we lose some storage that we have. Julia?
Are there intentionally no doors on the back of the stalls?
I don't think that the doors have to show up on the stalls themselves. They're in the men's room. It's going to be. In the men's room we said think Kneeland, think trough, and so that was what we were going for. We got so in the I'm just kidding. Yeah, in the renovations of Kneeland on the south side renovation, we got the trough, and so it's going in there. You will have privacy in the bathrooms. It's good. That's a good detailed pickup. Fred, you had another?
The pictures are beautiful. Does the price include a new furniture package?
Yeah, so within the package there is a soft cost that we've set aside for new furniture, both for the children's wing and for the chapel. John? So we're still finalizing the audit of this building. So I want to be careful about. So it's either going to be, it's most likely going to be up these stairs behind us. Jackson.
So during renovation, there won't be disturbance to Sunday service.
There won't be any disturbance to having that. There might be disturbance towards flow. Right. And there will be disturbance to hanging out in the parking lot.
Is the paving of this parking lot included in this, or we're not worried about
This parking lot, that's not our parking lot that we own. So we're not investing money in it at this point, other than the money we spend to rent it at this point. Is that right, Logan? And hopefully one day we can buy it. And if anybody is interested in a rental property, the house behind us is for sale for $675,000, which is where we also have 15 parking places that we rent. And so some of those might be going away. So if anybody, it's just behind us if you want. But that's not included in the Cultivate project right now. Charlie. During construction, I think they're probably going to have to use it for some staging, and so it'll be fenced off for safety.
So even after the construction, is the parking lot going to stay the same, or are we going to be in that same situation with the kids? Are there any plans to change that dynamic out there?
The hope is that we can get a playground over there that will be fenced in for the children to run around within the fence rather than working on. Now, we would still have limited parking, like mainly the handicap parking would be in there, but yeah, we won't have much parking. Long term, we hope that we can purchase the lot. Long term, we hope we can purchase the house next door to us. And they'll either be used for more space is needed, or maybe parking, but it's just part of the difficulty of being in the urban and university corridor. No, that's over there a little bit further to the west. It's behind us in the alley. It has definitely not been remodeled. Yeah. Just facts. Yeah. Glenn. I wish we were able to. That's not included in the budget at this point. All right, so I'll move on to financials where we are. To date, we have $1.5 million in hand. We've raised more than $1.5 million, but we've spent some of that on like architecture costs and things of that nature. So to date, we have $1.5 million in hand. We have $450,000 in outstanding pledges. Not meaning great pledges, though they are outstanding and wonderful. They're just not fulfilled at this point. But we do, of that outstanding pledges, we do expect, based on the fact that there's still pledges coming in, another $250,000 to $300,000 of that $450,000 to come in, which would move us up closer to $1.8 million. We feel confident. Your generosity this year has been incredible. By the way, we've been running about 115 to 120% of projected budget this year. And so we feel pretty confident that the church's budget could afford a loan of $1.5 million if we needed to. However, our goal is going to be that over the next 2 years, we raise another $500,000 to $750,000. I don't know what that is in rubles or galleons, but Emma will look it up for us. But we do hope to raise another $500,000 to $750,000 to limit the amount of the construction loan that we'll need to use. And so if we can get to an amount of $1 million or less that we're taking on the loan, that doesn't impact our budget in any way, because we're already paying money out of our budget to the Cultivate campaign. Did I get that right, Jeff? Logan? All right, great. All right, any questions about finances? Yeah.
How much wiggle room do we have in the proposed 1.5 million?
What do you mean?
So how much wiggle room do we have for unexpected?
So what's the contingency? We have a 10% contingency in the 3.2.
Okay, so I guess I'm just concerned that it's up to 1.5 because there's no wiggle room. So
Yeah.
if we find out that it's 1.6 or 1.5 and 1 cent, like that doesn't give, are we still going to be able to do this project if we're over by $25? Like, I know that that's silly.
Yeah.
because I would just give you $25, but.
No, I mean, your point's a good one. I mean, I think what we're trying to do is say, this is what we know that we can afford, 1.5. The project is also in phases, and so we're able to address finances with each phase. And so if we need to work on that after certain phases, and if things look different, we can bring that back. But to date, this is what the contractors have said. They actually think it's I'm telling you that it's probably 3.2. They're saying that's the high end. They think we actually are lower because we've cut out some of the things that are in the project that make it 3.2. So there's even more contingency, but there was already a 10% contingency. So, I mean, if we want to change it in the future, we can change it, but this is what we feel confident in if no more money comes in. If no more money comes in, we don't feel confident with our budget going over 1.5 million. So we're trying to be fiscally responsible within the budget constraints that are today. Britton.
The timeline, is that just for phase 1 Chapel Wing, or is that for all 3?
That's hopefully for all 3. Phase 1 is like a 6 to 9 months. Certain things will be happening throughout the project. So it's actually phase 1, 2, phase 1, and the chapel wing, the office suite, and the exterior is like, that's that whole first part. The main part, then we have the children's wing, which is the fourth part. And we have this place where that has to be done first before we move things out. And within the new phase, if we do have to stop, which is not the goal at all, there's space in the new wing to move some of the things for a little bit until we get to the money, to the amount that we need, if we had to put a pause for a little bit. But
They're saying the chapel will be 6 to 9 months, and then like another 6, whatever, for the children's.
yeah.
This may already be addressed in the motion that's on the floor, but what happens to the previous motion for the one that passed?
It was never acted upon. So the motion, from the past? Yeah, like the motion was given, you gave us permission to take it out. We decided not to take it out. So now we're asking for a different.
How does that dissolve itself, that previous motion?
I think it's dissolved because no action was taken. I mean, we're not going to, if you want us to add a motion at a congregational meeting next week, we can do a motion to say, we're not going to take it out. But that, in our mind, this is a replacement to the old motion, so that we act on this. The other motion is dead. Does that make sense? At least that's how we're treating it. We're not going to take out 1.5 and 1.5, and we're not going to take out $3 million to do 2 different projects. This is the project that's on the floor.
How long is the
Is it 22 or 20? 20 years. First 2 years are only interest.
And this is like a standard construction loan, so it's like a line of credit, or like a loan that takes money out once we need it.
Correct.
Is there a cost on the total projected interest cost over the life? We could get that.
Any other questions? If not, we can move to the motion and the vote. All right, so the motion before you is according to BCO 25-6, the Congregational loan Redeemer Church Knoxville to take out a construction loan of up to $1.5 million in order to complete the estimated $3.2 million renovation of our existing building. All right, is that clear? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great. I guess we shouldn't have done it this way. We should have done it by the, now we kind of know a little bit. I'm so sorry. There's a ballot that you can fill out. And if you said yes, you should keep saying yes. And those of you who said no, you should say no. But yeah, please, the ballot is there. And then Joe is going to come and collect them. If you need a pen, Joe has a pen. I'm going to lay out more of the mood boards for you to come look at if you'd like to see them. In the meeting, so you can keep voting, but we do need to adjourn the meeting with prayer. So I'm going to ask Rob to pray to end the meeting.
Hey, Rob, before you pray, will you come and have your name on it for its count on the other side?
Yes, thank you, Angela. Put your name on the other side of the ballot. Father, thank you for your goodness to us, your provision to this church through many years. We have seen your work, your kindness, your faithfulness. And we ask that you would guide us with wisdom, and would we live with great gratitude, would we steward this property so we might serve you and declare the greatness of your grace. And we ask this in Jesus' name, amen.